himself, but that there were clear indications that such was taking place at almost all polling units that that they had agents monitoring the process.
Wilson, like the Commissioner for Information and Voter Education said, any serious political party, you know that in Osun State, there are over 3,763 polling units. That means you need 2 polling agents per each polling unit. That's number one. Number two, you also need at least 2 canvassers. What does the canvasser does? When they cited a voter coming in who is undecided, because there are 3 types of voters on election day. Those that know the candidate they want to vote for.
Are you saying that any voter who doesn't know who he wants to vote for before coming to cast his vote?
There are some, they don't.
And you want to have a canvasser there who might not have inducement on him?
That's exactly why
and
he's there.
And the canvasser would not have an inducement on him.
Of course he does.
To induce the person.
That is exactly his job, to induce the voter to vote for his own particular party. Because there are some voters, they are yet to make up their mind on who to vote for, even as at election day. You need to convince them that look, come and vote for party A or party B or party C. Then that is where the monetary inducement comes in. If you vote for my party, we'll do this for you. If you vote that for their party, they will give it to you. But if you vote for us, we'll do this, which is more better than what party A or party B is offering you. So it's part of the process. This is not the first time he's contesting an election. He's a former member of the House of Representatives, even a deputy speaker for that matter. For him to now turn around, to now smack the same process that brought him, that won him an election before, that should tell you the type of politician we have in this country. Well, it was in a party before that is notorious for doing exactly what he's complaining about. When he was in that party, he didn't come out to complain about that style. But because today, the style or the system is favorable to him, is now against his own aspiration, he now came out to voice out that yes, there is inducement, there is canvassers, there is inducement.
Are you saying that his allegations are probably not holding water? Of course
they are. Truth.
Of course they are.
I'm not doubting him. What I'm saying is that he has in the past years benefit from that same process.
Well, we don't know that for
sure. He has.
We don't know.
He has won election with that same process.
We don't know that for sure.
I said he's a former member of the House of Rep.
Well, we do not know if he benefited from inducement. Is what
it has been the stock in trade.
No problem. We'll continue that conversation in just a moment. National Head of News, Civil World News 24, is live in Osun State. He has been there, of course, throughout the entirety of today, giving us updates from all that has transpired. Sure, Maimodu, you were mentioning something about moving. I'm not sure where. Thank you for joining us nonetheless.
Very nice to be on with you guys.
All right, thank you so much. Right.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay, let me get a question from you.
Okay, so what have you noticed throughout?
Minutes, it's been excitement from different camps here in Osogbo and other parts of Osun State. Precisely, the process is you go for the accreditation, then the voting, then the sorting and the counting. And last 2 hours, it's been such an announcement of results, and you've been hearing jubilation from the crowd. Depending on which particular political party they belong to. And so far I can tell you that the exercise that started around 8:30 this morning has gone successfully. Free. There's not been any harassment, any gunshots, any intimidation. And so far we say it's been a successful process so far.
Let's start off from the early hours of today. We'll break it down from there. What were the things you noticed in the early hours when INEC was supposed to have set up?
Yeah, first, the INEC officials were quite on time. As at 7:30, they were all at their various polling units. Now, I never expected that INEC would be that early because when by previous elections I have covered. But they got to that polling unit very early. And the election was actually supposed to start around 8:30. So if they got to that polling unit 8, it was quite on time. So the deployment was quite successful. We've not had any review from the observer of any hitch of the activity so far. So the security personnel were also very much on ground. Yeah, unarmed security personnel were at the polling unit. Now, if you go along the major road, you have the military people keeping watch on the major road. You have the mobile policemen and other units keeping watch on the major road. But around the polling unit, you have the unarmed security personnel. And I think that is what the INEC regulation actually demands that you don't come into the polling area with arms. So it's been, and even the citizens of Osun State have been very, very civil in the way they have conducted themselves so far.
Our law enforcement agents are going about their duties, especially on election day, without any fear of intimidation on the voters themselves. Let's talk about INEC now and the use of its new modes of verification of each voter on election day. Any complaints? Because we saw the official PDP's Twitter handle giving out instructions to people to look out for some particular numbers on the BVAS, and if the number does not read 0000, that they should discredit that particular process. Of course, INEC has responded saying that is false. But what did you notice from the use of that technology today?
Yeah, for the places we visited, we actually realized that the BVAS machines actually work very well. So I had an interview earlier in the day with an observer, and she made mention of the fact that a party member who said that if you spend about 10 minutes accredited a particular voter, it's too much time to wait on the particular voter. And he advised that in subsequent election, INEC is going to put its act together so that you spend less time, because if you have, for instance, about 300 people, 400 people in the particular polling unit, and you spend about 10 minutes on one person, it's going to prolong the exercise. But the areas I visited, I didn't see that. But that is sort of observation. So I will give it to him that he must have seen something before he will see that. So which means in the subsequent election, INEC will need to take note of the particular number of time spent. And also I spoke to an observer who said that she noticed that it was like the jamming of network. I didn't notice that, but that was our observation, that it's like the jam network. So I wouldn't know why networks were jammed. Probably she was trying to get across online. She didn't find it easy. So whoever is responsible for the jamming of the network, and I think that is all due in serving our purpose, so that the media can have easy access to the internet and able to discharge its responsibility of monitoring the exercise. But so far, I will tell you that the exercise has been very peaceful, very, very peaceful, and the citizens of Osun have composed themselves very well, meaning that I think they are very much ready to ensure that Osun, during the last election before the 2023, to set a good example of how we should be.
I can see that there's some sort of, I don't know if it's a jubilation or if some sort of protest going on behind you. What exactly is going on?
That's a jubilation. That is the fallout from the announcement that this particular polling unit said this is Ogoluwa polling unit, and probably their party is leading in this particular polling unit, and that's why you have the excitement. But I wouldn't know which particular political party is taking the lead in this place, but someone is winning in this, and that's why you have the excitement there.
The population we can see there is majorly youthful in nature. How would you say that they have actually come out to partake in the exercise today? Did you get the question?
You're talking about the youth.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you're talking about the youth, their participation in this exercise.
Yes, absolutely. How have you noticed
So
their participation?
I would say that the youth, I would say that the youth have demonstrated the will to ensure that the election is done properly. I've seen the civility amongst the youth. I've not seen any youth demonstrating around every place I've visited today. I've not seen anyone you want to suspect that probably they are miscreants. If they are probably they are in their homes, I've not seen them around the polling unit. So I would give it to the youth in here. In the places I have visited, I think they're very, very civil, because before we came into Osun, it was this fear that probably you're going to have violence. But I will tell you, Wilson, I've not seen that. So I wonder where the news came out from initially, that probably there's going to be violence in Osun State. I've not seen that.
Okay, let's get to what we should probably begin to expect as time progresses now. I'm sure the elections have been declared, as you earlier mentioned, in that particular polling unit. So probably what should we begin to see within the next couple of hours?
In the next couple of hours, attention will be moving from the various polling units to the INEC Central State Coalition Center. That will expect the resident electoral commissioner or the chief returning officer to declare the final result. But like you know, according to the Electoral Act, the process is that there is the electronic transmission. So from every polling unit, you have results uploaded into the portal of INEC that every Nigerian has access to that portal. So there won't be any difference from what you have seen play out from the various polling units. So in the next couple of hours, attention will now be at the INEC Final Collation Center. That will expect that results will be read out, and we wouldn't expect much different from what is at the various polling units now, because you don't need to wait for any INEC official to manually transmit the results. It is no longer the norm in the Electoral Act. The norm now is we do it electronically. Everybody have access to the portal and they see what is in there. And we hope that by the time they start reading the result later on, it should correspond with what you have, what is included in the data.
All right, we appreciate you for joining us at this particular moment. I'm sure you want to get a bit of a reaction from those that are around you there, and of course, how elated they are with the conduct of the exercise so far. Thank you so much for giving us that update. Ashram Modu, the acting national head of news, Silverbird News 24. Thank you so much for being in Osun, giving us the update, and of course, we hope that you continue to give us more as time progresses and return to Lagos for, of course, a much more face-to-face conversation where we have such an opportunity right here in the studio. Yeah, thank you. I'm sure that's where he was planning to go when he said he was moving. Anyway, you heard what Ashram has had to say regarding all that has taken place in Osun. First of all, the images behind him are quite instructive. There is no case of violence. It's just jubilation. I'm sure that there are opposing camps, and I'm sure that there will be security men who are actually watching events unfold in that particular area to ensure that there's no chastisement that might probably lead to provocation and then retaliation, which can then cause, a fallout, conflict in that particular region. But it does appear that most of the people that are there are youthful in nature and they're quite enthusiastic about the elections.
Wilson, the truth is that if you participate in a free and fair process, if you lose, you congratulate the winner. It's only when there is need for the process to be manipulated that's when you get you angry. That's when it results to violence. You can see people are jubilating. The losers, they will still congratulate the winner and say, well done, next time we'll meet you, or next time we'll beat you, or next time we'll defeat you. That is exactly what we are saying. As long as the electoral process is clean from fraudulent or manipulation process, there won't be need for any violence. There won't be need. That was why the other man is saying all political parties should do their own work properly. Campaign very well, articulate your vision, give it to the voters, let them buy into your idea. If they buy into your idea, they'll go to the polling day, vote for you, even without any inducement. The only problem we have is that most of our politicians today are so lazy. They don't know how to articulate their provision, how to articulate their ideas, and now sell it to the public or sell it to the citizens. At least, if we get into power, give us between 1 year to this year, this is what we intend to do. From another year to this, what we intend to do. Maybe we need to, there's no school within your territory, we'll give you a school here. Maybe there's no water here, we'll give you a water here. Maybe there are no roads to connect your various community, we'll build you roads to connect your community. Or maybe there is need for us to even empower you. Because the problem here in this country is that economically, there is need for us to re-engineer our economic policy in this country. There is so much poverty in the land. There is so much hunger in the land. That was why when people talk about vote buying or inducement of voters, it will not be easy for us to eradicate it, because the average voter doesn't know where his next meal will come from. So as long as somebody is willing to give him 3, 4, or 5,000, which can guarantee his next meal, he will be willing to play ball. He will be willing to concede and vote for such party. So we need to re-engineer economic policy in this country so that the downtrodden, the unemployed, the poverty people should be lifted out of poverty. Until we do that, we'll still have problem with our election in this country.
I mean, all of the vote buying are just mere words.
They're just mere words.
To those who are probably looking to ensure
People
that their
will
families
still engage in vote buying as long as we have poverty in this land.
Okay, but one way to get to, rid our nation of poverty is, of course, electing the right leaders into office, which is a bit of a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword.
So how do you eradicate poverty if you do not elect good leadership? How do you get good leadership if poverty is an issue that then can be influenced by those who are in government?
Wilson, if you have the right leadership, we also need the right policy. I can tell you today there is nothing that is manufactured in this country. We are a consuming nation. Everything that you see in this country is imported from the outside the country.
Well, we do have our local pyramids that were showcased by
When was that?
A couple of months ago.
Go there now. Do you see any pyramids again?
Well, the pyramids have been dispersed. It was just
We have gold in this country. We have crude oil in this country. Everything is taken out to go and finish in another country, thereby giving job opportunities to those people over there. Why Nigerians are looking for jobs here? Why are we doing it? We need to be creative. We need to be ingenuity with our innovations. There are so many opportunities that is available in this country, but we are not tapping into it. We need leaders who are creative, leaders who can think out of the box. And look, since we have gold in this country, why don't we go outside the country, look for foreign investors, bring them down here, let us set up their company here, and extract the gold, manufacture it into earrings, jewelries, and engage our people.
Yeah, there'll be more time to discuss all what those in government must do. Let's talk about what Shomoma also mentioned before we go for this break. He mentioned that, he spoke with an observer and concerns were raised about the time as to how, each voter can be accredited. If one voter takes 10 minutes, if you multiply that by 60, that's only 60 people, and you have hundreds in each polling unit across the state.
It could be 400, it could be 500.
It could be 500 across the states. And so you find many people, of course, there's preference for the elderly and people living with disability, but it's still a long time for even an ordinary citizen to come out and vote and go back to his home. He's not going to come there and spend 8 hours standing on the queue before he can vote.
I think Shomoma is quite correct. I don't know the efficacy of this BVAS technology. I thought it's a process that will not take more than 30 seconds for it to authenticate that I'm the owner of the PVC that I brought to the polling unit.
Yeah, you mentioned that there appeared to be some kind of network jam.
Probably the INEC needs to update this BVAS technology. It should not take more than 30 seconds for you to authenticate the PVC I brought to the polling booth. Make sure my thumbprint is correct and my facial description does match what is on the PVC. And I could be allowed to cast my vote, go back home. Because in the situation we have up to 400 or 500 in each polling unit. And it takes the BVAS 10 minutes to authenticate one PVC. That if more than 50 will be able to cast their vote in that polling unit. And that might lead to some voters being disenfranchised.
Okay. We appreciate you for your thoughts. We have to go for this short break. When we come back, we continue to take reactions and, of course, give you more insight into what you expect as Osun looks forward to who will be the next governor come 2022, of course, for the next 4 years. Stay with us.